what they sold us is not reality. And so we, in Texas, it became obvious. Governor Abbott came out and said, hey, church is essential. In Kentucky, Governor Beshear every night would have like a fireside chat type thing in the afternoon where pretty much he would get up and say the church is killing people. Never heard him once say that there was a transmission of COVID in Walmart. Never heard him once talk about a big box store. It was always the church. And I found it strange that this virus is ultra religious, right? It attends Jewish synagogues and it attends Christian churches. And we put together, just to be a blessing, this is the genesis of Peaceably Gathered, a drive-through Easter egg giveaway to kids. Nobody was getting out of the car. This was right around Easter. We had less than 10 volunteers. We were following all of the mandates from the governor. And we got a call that morning, we thought we were, from the health department saying, if you give an egg to a kid, we're going to shut you down. And the people of our church had to stand and watch the McDonald's give out French fries in a drive-through capacity. The liquor store was serving their patrons across the road in a drive-through capacity, and the coffee shops were doing it, but the church couldn't do it. And we asked ourselves, is this religious targeting? And the answer was absolutely. And so we called all the press, did a communion parking lot service, said we're going to defy the governor's orders. They can come and get me if they want, but I'm distributing the sacrament according to my First Amendment right. And we're going to stand up for the church now. This has gone too far. As a matter of fact, I believe Romans 13 says we're to obey those in authority. But those that are in authority in America is we are a constitutional republic. And the highest authority in the land that governs the United States of America is the Constitution. Any man that breaks those basic American rights, First Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, these rights that have made us America, this is the man that is really the one that is breaking the law, and he's defying liberty, and he must be stood against. The high cost of living has always been potentially dying.
That's right.
That's the high cost of living. Doesn't matter what you do, right? The high cost of living is potentially dying. And so a virus is going to work its way through a group of people eventually. And just the people that what we've done hasn't worked. Let's just say it. It really hasn't worked.
No.
And I don't think fear ever works. I think hitting things head on and really problem solving is what works. And when you see groups of believers come together and do what believers are called to do, the church has ministered in famines. We've ministered in pestilence. We've ministered in plague. We've ministered in war for 2,000 years. And I think the same responsibility is on the church right now that's been on the church since Jesus said in Matthew 16:18, I will build my church and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. The same calls on us today. All of this Christians can't be politically involved is a lie from the devil, and it was concocted by human secularism to quieten our voice. If you go back and you read the prophets in the Old Testament, think of if you read Isaiah, it's one proclamation against a nation after the next proclamation. If you look, John the Baptist lost his head for speaking out against Herod. Jesus himself spoke against 4 different political powers. I'm talking Samuel spoke against it. Nathan spoke against it. Amen. Jeremiah spoke against it. The prophets, you cannot separate the man of God and the prophetic voice in the world or the woman of God from the political arena. It just doesn't work because the political arena affects every area of our life. So we can't be afraid. We can't be fear-filled. We have to be bold, but we have to be loving. And I don't believe being loving always means being nice, by the way. Right. This nice Christian idea, I think we should always be kind, right? And that word kind in the original language means to be morally upright. Doesn't mean I'm always going to tell you what you want to hear, or I'm always going to be this nice guy. I try to be nice, but I would rather be kind than nice. Hey, thank you for all you do, and it's an honor to be here with you. And once again, I'll just say, if anybody needs help, info@peaceablygather.com, and that's PEACEABLY, gather. It's harder to spell than I thought it was. So peaceablygather.com, and we'll get you with the right resource.